Alright, how's it going? Mr. Latham here. Going to give you a little short 5-minute video on the respiratory system and trying to make it a little bit more in relation to your sport as well. So how you should be using this video basically is use this as a way of learning the content, so then in class you can actually ask me the questions that you aren't sure about. So it's not as though I'm standing out there in front just going through information, is that you can learn it beforehand and then come in and try some different questions there to make the classroom a little bit more interactive. So by the end of this video, what we should be doing is understanding why we breathe, understanding how the respiratory system works in conjunction with the circulatory system, and then trying to relate that to a sporting environment. So why do we breathe? So the reason we breathe is because actually the oxygen is required for us to give us the energy that we need for day-to-day activities. When I say the energy that we need, it's not just lifting heavy things or playing sport. It's also for our body to function. So for our brain to function, it needs energy, it needs oxygen. For our heart to function, it needs energy, it needs oxygen, and so on. So the way I look at it is that you might think, oh yeah, but don't we just eat food to get energy? And yes, we do, but then we need the oxygen to sort of unlock that energy. Imagine you're at home and you've got a pantry full of food, but you can't get into the pantry because the pantry's locked. The oxygen is like the key that will open that pantry, and we continually need supply of oxygen to be able to keep opening that pantry, to supply us with the food, the energy, to perform day-to-day functions. How do we breathe? Now it's a thing called a diaphragm. Now a diaphragm is sort of like these muscles located just below the lungs that forcefully compress by contracting and then relaxing as well to open up the lungs and create a difference in pressure. And that difference in pressure allows the air to either just fall in or to go out, so either inhale or exhale. So the diaphragm allows us to breathe basically a bunch of muscles around our ribs. Okay, so it doesn't just happen, it's something which happens inside of our body. So it's automatic, breathing is automatic, but it is also something that you can think about. We try not to breathe and try to hold your breath for as long as you can. Eventually your body will take over and then you start breathing anyway. So we can't actually hold our breath until we pass out like that, because our body will let us try and make us breathe. So we use our diaphragm to breathe. So when we inhale the oxygen, it goes into our lungs, and what it's trying to do is it's trying to find these little sacs called alveoli. Alveoli, ravioli. Now, what it basically is the oxygen finds the alveoli, and that is basically the doorway to our blood, to the circulatory system. So as you remember, with the circulatory system, we need oxygen. So we breathe in the oxygen into our lungs, and then once it finds the alveoli, it then passes through into the blood, and then we can use that basically around our body. So we can that's how we supply oxygen to the rest of our body, even though we only breathe it in through our lungs. So we breathe it in through the lungs, then it goes into the blood, it goes to the heart, and then boom, it gets pumped all around the body. So these alveoli, how it basically works is that the oxygen sort of diffuses through the alveoli from the lungs to get then inside the blood. Now if you take a look at this here, the gas exchange just in the corner, so basically this is our lung in here. Basically we're breathing in, so the oxygen comes through into our lungs, and then what do you think this is here going out? Yeah, it's the carbon dioxide, because our lungs, they serve two purposes. One, we want to breathe in that oxygen, but two, we need to get rid of that carbon dioxide. If we didn't breathe out, then we would always have this toxic carbon dioxide in our body. So the alveoli, one, takes the oxygen into the bloodstream, and two, it gets the carbon dioxide outside of the bloodstream. So there's two functions for it, and that's why It's called the gas exchange, because you're exchanging oxygen for carbon dioxide. And that's going to be really important in the test to show that you understand that we take in the oxygen, but then we also need to get rid of the carbon dioxide. That's why basically when we are playing sport as well, we start breathing harder, we breathe faster, our heart starts pumping faster because we're trying to breathe in more oxygen. But because we're breathing in more oxygen, we're working hard, we're creating more carbon dioxide. So we're breathing faster to not just take in more oxygen, but also to get rid of more carbon dioxide. Alright guys, I hope you found this video helpful. Make sure you give it a like, subscribe, and hopefully there's more fun-filled videos coming at you.